What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report. Welcome back to a brand new video. We talk all things Miami Heat basketball. The season is over for the Miami Heat, guys, and I'm here to talk about 5 things that the Miami Heat should be, trying to fix or thinking about when the offseason is entering very, very soon. So I will be talking about the game very briefly because we did have a game last night or last afternoon. Obviously, this video is being put out the morning after. The reason for this is I was a little bit busy after the game, so I didn't really have time to record the video. So apologize to you guys if this gets out a little bit later than you guys expected it to, but we'll make it work. So bear with me. Not a lot of the things that I saw in the game are fresh off the top of my mind because I'm recording the morning after the game. And it's already been, a while since the game ended. So yeah, if I forget something, make sure y'all let me know in the comment section below what I forget. Obviously, if you guys are new, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We're growing by the day. It's very nice to see. If you guys are OGs, make sure you guys leave those likes. And yeah, everyone comment down below on what your thoughts are about the season in general. And yeah, this is going to kind of serve as a kind of like a game / a season recap. And it's going to progress towards what the Miami Heat should be thinking about heading towards the offseason. So yeah, let's get right into it. So obviously the Heat lost this game by about 20 points, something like that. And yeah, when we started off the game, very well. I was very happy with the start with the game. We were at one point up by about 12 points, and the Bucks cut it down to 7 at halftime, which I thought was a good effort by our guys to contain their main players in Giannis and Chris Middleton. We disrupted them a lot with our zone, but in the third quarter, we saw the zone a little bit exposed because the Bucks had finally figured out how to beat the zone. The zone is designed to, contain the primary ball handlers trying to drive towards the rim, and it's designed for, leaving or not leaving people open, but it's designed to make the others beat you. So that's what the zone is. That's what our zone is. And in the third quarter, you really saw guys like Bryn Forbes and Bobby Portis take advantage of the zone. And the zone is not the only reason we lost. I just don't think we matched their intensity in the third quarter whatsoever. I thought we came out with some nice intensity. I thought we were playing pretty well. The third quarter obviously is when they got to the free throw line a lot, very, very early. Actually, they were in the bonus at like 8 minutes or 7 minutes left in the quarter. So yeah, that was not a good sign, the fact that they were in the bonus so early. And second of all, their role players start to hit their threes. I think they were shooting the ball very poorly in the first half from the 3-point range, and then the second half they just kind of found their range. Bryn Forbes rattled them down, and I told y'all about Bryn Forbes, man. He is a knockdown shooter. I watched him at Michigan State. I watched him with the Spurs. He's a very, very good shooter. And Bobby Portis is a guy who's I think the second leading 3-point shooter in the NBA this season. So we definitely didn't do our homework on that. If you're gonna be playing the zone, I would much rather take my chances leaving PJ Tucker open rather than Bryn Forbes or Bobby Portis, but that's just me. So yeah, they made us pay from the 3-point range. Once Bryn Forbes hits a couple, he has his confidence. He starts pulling from the parking lot, and it goes in. So we couldn't really stop Bryn Forbes in the third quarter. There was a stat that he outscored Jimmy Butler in this whole series, which is wild to me. We did a pretty good job on Giannis until he got to the free throw line a lot. Chris Middleton, came alive in that third quarter, and yeah, the game was basically over after that third quarter. We kind of made a run a little bit, cut it down to like 7 or something, but the Bucks just came back and they withstood everything we threw at them, which in the grand scheme of things wasn't that much. And just like that, the season is over. One thing interesting was that Udonis Haslem did not play whatsoever in this game. So there was an indication that if this was his last game in front of the fans, in front of the Miami crowd, then Spo would have probably tried to play him a little bit, even if we were losing by 20 or whatever, to give him a nice send-off. But the fact that he did not play kind of gives a hint that he might be back next season. So keep your eye out for that. yeah, man. I mean, we saw his emotion. He threw the chair and everything. And I saw someone say, how can some guy playing 3 minutes a game be allowed to do this? Are they just okay with someone throwing a chair and getting mad right at them who's a scrub or whatever? Like, no, bro. Just tell me that you don't understand what the Heat is about, because you don't, right? Udonis Haslem is the most important player behind D Wade in this franchise's history. So do not talk about UD like he's, some old guy who never knew how to hoop. Udonis Haslem was a big player for the Heat championships runs, and we would not have 3 championships without him. So put some respect on his name before you talk your trash about him. But yeah, shout out to the Bucks. Shout out to the Bucks fans. I did say y'all deserve a lot more credit than you guys are getting. I think this should be about how the Bucks really handled the Heat in 4 games. No one really expected them to do that. A lot of people picked them in the series. Majority of the people picked them in the series, but no one really expected the Bucks to do it this convincingly. And the fact that they did, I think they deserve a lot of credit. And I hope that the Bucks win the championship, because I really want to see Giannis be successful, and because it'll shut up this bubble fluke narrative. It's so annoying, but I guess we got to take it because we did kind of struggle in this series. Maybe if the Bucks win the championship, people will realize that we lost to a really good team. So shout out to the Bucks and shout out to Bucks fans. And yeah, feel free to infiltrate the comments anytime you guys want. I'm here for it. I'll entertain any sort of trash talk. But yeah, let's get right into the transition part towards the season ending. Obviously, the season ended, and we have a lot of things to look forward to as far as the off season. And the franchise and the organization needs to set priorities as to what they want to do. So obviously we have a lot of free agents. I did a video about the free agency, previewing the free agency very early. Actually, I did it I think a month ago. I will have to do one again because these playoffs have dramatically changed some of the free agency decisions that I would be making. But I don't think that well, stay tuned for that video. Stay tuned. I'll talk about all the free agency stuff for that video. But one of the things that I did not talk about in that free agency video was Jimmy Butler's extension. Now, obviously, Jimmy Butler did not play well in the series. I don't really care what anyone says. I don't really care what the numbers say. He did not have the Jimmy Butler impact that we're all used to seeing him have. And compounding that, he started the playoff series off by saying he stupidly locked in and this, that, and the other, and whatever it may be. So, Jimmy deserves the criticism. He does. I criticize him all you want, but next year, the same people who are criticizing him right now, I want y'all to praise him when he bounces back next year, because he's gonna bounce back next year. I have full confidence in Jimmy Butler to bounce back next year. And one playoff series that you did not really play well in does not mean that you're not a top 15 player in this league, because he is still a top 15 player in this league, top 10 depending on who you ask. Jimmy Butler is still top 15 in my eyes. I don't really care what anyone says, but he does when he plays well, he deserves a praise, but when he plays badly, he deserves a criticism. So give him the criticism, but y'all better be giving him the praise when he comes back and bounces back next season. Same with Bam. I think that Bam, I got really frustrated with Bam in this game. It's not even the fact about Bam and Jimmy that they were missing their shots. They were just not taking enough. Like Bam, the amount of times that Bam was open in the mid-range area and Brook Lopez was in the paint, or Bobby Portis was in the paint, just daring him to shoot that jumper, and all he was doing was trying to look for dribble handoffs. I know I said last video that we need to start bringing the dribble handoffs back, but it has to be a mix. You can't just have a game with all dribble handoffs or a game with no dribble handoffs. Dribble handoffs are part of our offense, but it cannot be the only thing that our max contract player is there for. Bam Adebayo has improved his offensive skill set tremendously from year 1 to year 4. No one can deny that his stats have increased every year. His impact has increased every year. So he is improving year by year. No one can deny Bam Adebayo's improvement, to his offensive game and defensive game. But he has to be able to showcase this. We cannot be paying someone a max contract who's there to be a defensive guy and who's there to do dribble handoffs on the offensive end. He has to show some of the skills that he's shown in the regular season as far as shooting the mid-range shot. A lot of people want to put this on the coach. I don't think that this is on Spo. I think this is on Bam for not shooting the ball. You know, I think Bam is a guy that if he'll shoot the ball, but if he misses three, he'll stop shooting it because he's a guy who plays off confidence. He's a guy that he's kind of like a perfectionist. You know, he's a guy who's afraid to, you know, miss over and over and over again. And we have to get that out of his head because, you know, the great players, you know, like I wish Dion Waiters was on this team, man. I wish Dion Waiters was on this team because he'd be yelling at Bam to shoot that ball. Because we need Bam to shoot the ball no matter how many times he misses it. I don't care if he misses it. Keep shooting because it's going to keep the defense honest. So, yeah, he's going to have to get that into his head to start shooting the ball more. I'm not even mad at the misses or anything, but even with Jimmy's going to have to shoot the ball more too. So them two are going to have to shoot the ball more. So yeah, coming back to the free agency or the offseason part though, Jimmy Butler's extension is going to have to be something that we have to talk about because he is eligible for an extension this year because he's a free agent next year, I think. 2022, I think is when or 2023, I'm not sure. But in the next couple of years, he's going to be a free agent. So unless we extend him, he is eligible for an extension up to when he's 36. You know, I'm not sure the amount of money, but it would be 30 million plus that we're going to be paying him. You got to pay him that money, man. You got to pay him that money. I know he didn't play well this series, but he's still our best player. He's our leader. He's everything, you know, that we needed in the regular season. I think people just forgot how valuable he was to our team. That they just want to judge, you know, their perception of him based on 4 playoff games. And I know playoff games mean more than regular season games, but he was the reason that we ended up in the playoffs. Without him, we are god awful. So Jimmy Butler deserves whatever extension we're going to be giving him. We got to sort that out as quickly as possible so that we figure out, you know, how much cap we have. If we sort out Jimmy Butler's extension, we'll figure out how much cap space we have to get another guy in, like a Kawhi Leonard or whoever it may be. So yeah, Jimmy Butler, cool. The second priority, we got to figure out that front court position. Now, whether it's going to be, you know, a guy who's playing alongside Bam at the 4, like a Jay Crowder type of player or Trevor Ariza type of player, who is a 3-and-D player, a little bit smaller, who can tween between a 3 and a 4, a stretch 4 who can defend. That like a Robert Covington type of player. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We're either gonna have to find a player like that in the off season, but the thing about this player that we're going to be trying to get is he's going to have to be a permanent fit next to Bam. We cannot have a temporary solution. I keep throwing out this word because it is how we approach free agency. Mo Harkless last year, there was no way that he was part of our future front court with Bam. I know they're probably trying to develop Precious to do this, but Precious is still a rookie. We don't really have, you know, next year I don't think he's going to be ready to be that starting power forward or starting center next to Bam. 1, because he cannot shoot the ball. 2, because he's not really developed on the offensive end whatsoever. So I still see Precious as a backup guy. You know, maybe playing alongside Dedmon would be fine, but we still need someone to pair alongside Bam for the foreseeable future. So whether it's a type of guy, like I said, like a Robert Covington, a Jay Crowder, an Aaron Gordon, anyone like in that mold, or it's going to have to be moving Bam to the 4 and getting a guy like a Brook Lopez type of player who play alongside Giannis right now, a stretch 5 who can protect the rim as well, like a Miles Turner or, you know, whoever it might be, like an Al Horford type of player. These are the types of players we're going to need to get because we are really getting exposed on the glass, and we have been this whole season. The rebounding has been one of our weakest points. Playing the zone is also very bad because the zone, obviously, you know, against a team like the Celtics, you can get away with it because they don't really have like a, you know, Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams, I guess, but they don't really have like size right on their team. They're a very undersized team as compared to the Bucks. If you play the zone against the Bucks, yeah, you can throw them off a bit, but the zone, what the zone does is it more often than not leads to offensive rebounds. So, you know, we got to get rebounders out there or guys who can fit alongside Bam for the foreseeable future, whether it's the 4 or whether it's the 5. That is something we have to sort out. The next thing is we need a go-to scorer, a guy who can flat out score the ball on 3 levels. He can shoot the mid-range, he can get in the paint, he can shoot the 3. We need someone who can do all 3 of these things. Obviously, Kyle Lowry is someone that a lot of Heat fans want. I don't know what his priority will be. You know, we just got swept, so a lot of free agents might not want to come here anymore because, you know, people still want to come to Miami. That's dumb of me to say. It's Miami. It's Miami, no taxes in Florida. Weather is beautiful. We're still a playoff team, but if Philly goes on a run this playoffs, Kyle Lowry might lean Philly because first of all, that's his home, and second of all, they have shown that they're a better team this season than we are. So that might be a little bit more appealing to a guy like Kyle Lowry or whoever it might be. I don't know if Philly has a cap situation that we do because they're paying Tobias Harris a supermax type of, or like a max contract. They're paying Embiid. I'm pretty sure they're paying Simmons as well. So yeah, Philly, I don't know if they're going to have the cap, but it's going to be between Philly and Miami, or if he's re-signing in Toronto. It's going to be these three teams that Kyle Lowry decides to go to. Maybe LA if he wants to, take a pay cut and go win a ring very easily. So watch out for these three other teams. The Toronto Raptors, he could re-sign. Philadelphia 76ers, he could go home. And LA, if he wants a free ring, if he wants a easy path to a championship, he can go to LA. The Lakers, not the Clippers. The Clippers are kind of, y'all know what the Clippers are on. They're about to lose in the first round as well. So we need a go-to scorer, man. We need a guy who can score the ball when Jimmy and Bam are not scoring. That's what we need. And it has to be someone who can shoot the ball from the three, mid-range, and finish at the paint. Whether it's Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, Bradley Beal, whoever it might be, we have to get someone in like that in free agency or through a trade. We've seen what happens when you hold on to assets. I'm not saying that Tyler Hero or Kendrick Nunn or Duncan Robinson are bad players, but they're just guys that, obviously Pat Riley said you don't know what they're going to become, but Pat, we don't know what they're going to become, but if we win a championship by trading them for, a superstar, then it doesn't really matter what they become because we won a championship. So you cannot waste Jimmy Butler's prime. You cannot waste, Bam Adebayo going into his, I know people will have a sour taste in their mouth about Bam in this series, but he's going to be a superstar in years to come. So you cannot waste that. So yeah, we need a go-to scorer. We also need a guy who can play make, a facilitator. Especially at that guard position. I think Jimmy Butler is that facilitator at the forward position. Bam can facilitate at the center position, but our guards are not that big of a passer as far as facilitating, right? Goran is probably the best one. Tyler is a score first guy. Duncan Robinson is a shooter. Kendrick Nunn is also a score first guy. So we need a guy who can play make flat out. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, I would like to have a playmaker who can also defend at the same time, because my last key that we need to focus in on is a guard that can defend, and not someone like Avery Bradley who's 36 or whatever, however old he is, but we need someone who can come in and be ready. The guards are gonna have to defend, man. We need guard defense. Look what Drew Holiday did to the Bucks. He was a huge addition for them. So if we can find a guy that can play make and play defense at the guard position, we'll be set. We'll be very, very solid at the guard position. And then lastly, before I end the video, I do think we need some athletic wings. Derrick Jones Jr., as much as, he probably didn't do much on the offensive end, he was still a very athletic wing for us to put out there to guard multiple positions. Ariza is just very old now. Maybe in his prime he could have, but he's just very old. He's very inconsistent as far as his shot ability. Jay Crowder was a very good guy because he was still in his 30s. He was still in his very early 30s, so he was still capable of doing all that. We need some athletic wings. We need some athletic wing players to put alongside Jimmy and Bam for our defensive lineup. So yeah, hopefully we can figure all this out. This was actually a very long video actually. So hopefully we can figure all this out in this offseason. Because we need to, a massive roster reconstruction as far as our others go. I think Jimmy and Bam are cool. They're solid. They're not going anywhere. But as far as, if we're eligible to trade for a superstar, we cannot pass that up. If we're eligible to, get people in free agency that complement our team, we cannot pass that up. So, I do not want another free agency where we end up with Mo Harkless and Avery Bradley, two very old veteran pieces that will not be part of our future or will not really be contributing to a championship team that we have already assembled, because we have not assembled a championship team. So we have to assemble the championship team and then get veterans like, Ariza, Harkless, Bradley, all these guys are glue guys that you can add at the end. That's what the Bucks did. They added their Drew Holiday, they added their Bryn Forbes, they added their Bobby Portis. At the trade deadline, they got PJ Tucker. That was their, guy, their veteran that they added at the end. You cannot start adding veterans at the beginning to a team that's not ready to win a championship yet. You have to add your guys that are going to help you win the championship, and then add the veterans at the end. So I want the Heat to do that. Hopefully we do that. We do not have a pick this year as far as the draft is concerned, so we will, unless a trade happens, we will not be drafting anyone, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I think this is where we're gonna end this video. It was actually a very long video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it, man. 20 minutes of me just ranting about the Heat. If you guys enjoy these type of videos, make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. As always, I'll see y'all later, man.